I was standing in the produce section of Whole Foods, debating between organic and conventional blueberries, when my phone buzzed with a message that would detonate my entire life. The sender was a number I didn't recognize. The image took a second to load. When it did, I froze. My wife Emily, my beautiful, devoted wife of 8 years, was pressed against our kitchen counter, her sundress hiked up around her waist, locked in an intimate embrace with a man I'd never seen before. His hands gripped her hips. Her head was thrown back, mouth open in what was unmistakably pleasure. The timestamp showed yesterday afternoon, Tuesday, the day I'd been at my office downtown, working late on the Peterson account. The blueberries tumbled from my hand, scattering across the polished concrete floor. My phone buzzed again. Another photo. This one showed them on our living room couch. The couch Emily and I had picked out together last spring, the one where we watched movies every Friday night. A third photo followed. Our bedroom. Our bed. The quilt her grandmother had made us as a wedding gift. Then came a video file. My hands shook so badly I could barely tap the play button. I jammed my earbuds in, my heart hammering against my ribs. The audio hit me like a physical blow. Emily's voice, breathless and urgent, saying things I'd never heard her say. Not to me. Not in the 10 years we'd been together. A text message appeared beneath the video. Thought you should know what your wife does when you're at work. This has been going on for 7 months. A friend. 7 months. I stood there in the middle of Whole Foods, other shoppers flowing around me like water around a stone, while my entire world collapsed. 7 months of lies. 7 months of, I love you, and how was your day, honey? And goodnight kisses that tasted like betrayal. My name is Ryan Mitchell. I'm 34 years old, a senior financial analyst at Blackstone and Associates in downtown Seattle. I make good money, not rich, but comfortable. 6 figures. Emily and I had a nice life in our Ballard neighborhood Craftsman. 2 cars, both paid off. A golden retriever named Bailey. We'd been trying for a baby for the past year. A baby. The thought made my stomach lurch. I stumbled toward the bathroom, barely making it to a stall before I threw up. Afterward, I sat on the closed toilet lid, staring at my phone. I watched the video again. And again. Each time hoping I'd see something different, that it would turn out to be some deep fake, some sick joke. But the mole on Emily's left shoulder blade was there. The small scar on her right knee from when she fell off her bike in college. The way she tucked her hair behind her ear with her left hand. That unconscious gesture I'd watched 1,000 times. It was real. I checked the time. 4:47 p.m. Emily would be home from her job at the marketing firm by now. She got off at 4 on Wednesdays. We usually had dinner together at 6:30. How many of those dinners had been preceded by this? How many times had she showered away the evidence before I walked through the door? My phone buzzed. Emily. Hey babe, picked up stuff for tacos tonight. Home in 20, love you. Love you, I wanted to scream. Instead, I forwarded all the photos and the video to my personal email account. Then I created a new folder in my cloud storage and uploaded everything there. I took screenshots of the messages, including the unknown number. My hands moved on autopilot while my brain struggled to process. I'm analytical by nature. It's what makes me good at my job. Numbers, patterns, data. Even in crisis, that part of me was already working, cataloging evidence, thinking ahead. I couldn't go home. Not yet. Not until I had a plan. I left the grocery store without buying anything and sat in my Audi in the parking lot. The Seattle drizzle had started, droplets streaking down the windshield. I pulled up my contacts and scrolled to my college roommate, Jake Patterson. He was an attorney now, though family law wasn't his specialty, corporate litigation. But he'd know who I should talk to. Ryan, long time, what's up? His voice was cheerful, I need a divorce lawyer, the best one you know. The cheerfulness evaporated. Jesus, what happened? Emily's been having an affair for months. I just found out. I'm sorry, man. I'm really sorry. He paused. Are you sure? Sometimes these things. I have video evidence, multiple photos. It's not a misunderstanding. Okay. His voice shifted into professional mode. Okay, don't go home yet. Don't confront her. Don't do anything. Washington is a no-fault divorce state, but if there are assets involved, we need to be strategic. Do you have somewhere you can stay tonight? I can get a hotel. Do that. I'm texting you a name right now. Olivia Brennan. She's a barracuda. Expensive, but worth every penny. Tell her I referred you. She'll see you tomorrow morning if you explain the situation. Thanks, Jake. Ryan, I mean it. Don't talk to Emily yet. Don't tip your hand. Get your ducks in a row first. After we hung up, I sat there watching the rain intensify. My phone buzzed again. Emily. Where are you? Thought you'd be home by now. I typed back, got caught up at work, going to be late, don't wait up. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. Then, okay, love you. There it was again. Love you? Those words that used to mean everything and now meant nothing. I started the car and drove toward downtown, toward the Marriott on 4th Avenue. As I drove, my mind raced through the implications. The hotel room smelled like industrial detergent and stale air conditioning. I sat on the edge of the bed, my phone in my hand, staring at Emily's latest text. Hope the Peterson account isn't giving you too much trouble. Don't work too late. Love you. Sent at 6:23 p.m., 40 minutes ago. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. Every instinct screamed to type back the truth, to tell her I knew, that I'd seen everything, that our marriage was over. But Jake's words echoed in my head. Don't tip your hand. Not yet. I typed out a response. Should be done by 9. Order yourself some dinner. Love you too. The lie tasted like acid, but I hit send. 3 dots appeared immediately. She was typing. Already ate. Thai from that place on Market. Saved you some pad thai in the fridge. Of course she did. The perfect wife. Saving dinner for her hard-working husband while she destroyed our life behind his back. I set the phone face down on the nightstand and walked to the window. Downtown Seattle stretched out below, lights beginning to twinkle in the gathering dusk. Somewhere out there, Emily was probably curled up on our couch, the one we'd spent 3 weekends shopping for, debating between the gray fabric and the navy blue. We'd gone with gray. She'd been right about it matching the walls better. I wondered if she'd been sleeping with him then, 7 months ago. If she'd texted him while we were at West Elm, laughing about throw pillows while planning their next encounter in our bed. My phone buzzed. I grabbed it, expecting another message from Emily. It was from the anonymous number. Did you confront her yet? My jaw clenched. I typed back, Who is this? The response came within seconds. Someone who thought you deserved to know the truth. Did you? No? Smart. Get your affairs in order first. She doesn't deserve a heads up. I stared at the message. The sender knew Emily. That much was clear. The casual contempt in those words suggested personal knowledge, maybe even a grudge. Why did you send me those photos? I typed. The 3 dots pulsed for a long moment. Because I know what it's like to be lied to, and because she needs to face consequences for once in her life. For once in her life. That phrasing suggested history, a pattern. My mind raced through possibilities. A coworker, an ex-friend, someone from her past. Do I know you? I asked. No response. The message sat there, unread, for 5 minutes. Then 10. Whoever it was had said their piece and disappeared back into the shadows. I didn't sleep. How could I? Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that video. Emily's face, flushed and laughing, her hand on his chest, the way she'd looked at him. I'd memorized every frame during those 90 seconds in my car, and now they played on an endless loop behind my eyelids. At 3:17 a.m., I gave up and opened my laptop. The hotel Wi-Fi was decent enough. I pulled up our bank accounts, our credit card statements, every financial record I could access. If this had been going on for 7 months, there might be evidence I'd missed. Hotel charges, restaurant bills, unexplained cash withdrawals. Jake had told me to document everything, and I was nothing if not thorough. I started with January, 7 months ago, when this apparently began. Our joint checking account showed normal activity. Grocery stores, gas stations, her usual coffee shop. Her credit card was equally mundane. Target, Nordstrom Rack, a few lunches that lined up with her work calendar. But then I noticed something in February. A cash withdrawal for $300 from an ATM in Fremont. Not unusual on its own, we both pulled cash occasionally, but it was followed by another 2 weeks later, then another. Every 2 weeks through March, April, May. Always $300. Always from the same ATM on Stone Way. I pulled up Google Maps and entered the address. The ATM was outside a QFC grocery store, half a mile from our house. Close enough to be convenient, far enough that I'd never randomly run into her there. I always shopped at the Whole Foods near my office. My stomach turned. She'd been systematic about it. Careful. $300 every 2 weeks added up to $2,400 over 7 months. Cash was untraceable. She could spend it on hotel rooms, dinners, gifts for him, whatever she wanted without leaving a digital trail. Except she'd left this one. The pattern was too regular to be coincidence. I took screenshots of every withdrawal, every statement, and uploaded them to the same cloud folder where I'd stored the photos and video. Evidence. Cold, hard proof of premeditation. At 8:47 a.m., I walked into Olivia Brennan's office on the 32nd floor of a glass tower in downtown Seattle. The reception area was all chrome and leather, with abstract art on the walls that probably cost more than my car. A receptionist with perfect posture and a practiced smile directed me to a conference room. "Ms. Brennan will be with you shortly. Can I get you coffee? Water?" "Coffee. Black. Thank you." She returned with a porcelain cup and saucer, actual china, not the paper cups I'd expected, and left me alone with my thoughts. I'd barely taken a sip when the door opened and Olivia Brennan strode in. She was maybe 50, with silver-streaked dark hair pulled into a neat bun and sharp eyes that seemed to catalog everything about me in 2 seconds flat. She wore a charcoal suit that screamed expensive and carried a leather portfolio under one arm. "Mr. Mitchell," she extended her hand. Her grip was firm, professional. "Jake Patterson speaks very highly of you. I'm sorry we're meeting under these circumstances. Thank you for seeing me on such short notice." She sat across from me and opened her portfolio, pulling out a yellow legal pad. Jake gave me the broad strokes. "Your wife has been having an affair, you have photographic evidence, and you want to proceed with divorce. Is that accurate?" "Yes." "How long have you been married?" 8 years, together for 10. She made a note. "Children?" "No, we were trying, but—" I trailed off. The irony wasn't lost on me. We'd been trying for a year. Had she been sleeping with him that whole time, letting me believe we were building a family together? Assets. I outlined our situation. The house in Ballard, purchased 5 years ago, currently worth about $800,000 with $300,000 left on the mortgage. 2 cars, both paid off. Our joint savings account with $42,000. My 401k with about $200,000. Her smaller retirement account. No significant debts beyond the mortgage. Olivia wrote it all down in neat, efficient script. "Washington is a community property state, Mr. Mitchell. That means assets acquired during the marriage are typically split 50-50, regardless of fault. My hands tightened around the coffee cup. So she gets half of everything, even though she's the one who… Yes. Olivia's voice was matter of fact, not unkind. Infidelity isn't grounds for unequal division of assets in Washington. However, it can influence other aspects of the divorce, particularly if we can demonstrate that marital funds were used to facilitate the affair. I thought of those cash withdrawals. I found a pattern of ATM withdrawals, $300 every 2 weeks for the past 7 months. Always the same location, always cash. Her pen paused. Do you have documentation? I pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshots. She studied them, her expression unreadable. This is good, she said finally. If we can demonstrate she was systematically diverting marital funds for an extramarital affair, we may be able to argue for reimbursement. It won't change the fundamental 50-50 split, but we could potentially reduce her share by the amount she spent. How much does this total? $2,400 based on these withdrawals alone. But I don't know what else she might have spent. We'll subpoena her personal records during discovery. Credit cards, bank statements, everything. Olivia made another note. Now, let's talk about the evidence you have. Jake mentioned photos and video. I forwarded her the cloud folder link. She pulled out a laptop and opened it, her face remaining professionally neutral as she reviewed the contents. The only sign of her reaction was a slight tightening around her eyes. Who sent you these? She asked. I don't know. Anonymous number. They claim to be a friend and said the affair has been going on for 7 months. Have you had any further contact with this person? I showed her last night's exchange. She read it carefully. She needs to face consequences for once in her life, Olivia repeated. That suggests someone with personal knowledge of your wife, an ex-friend perhaps, or someone else she's wronged. That's what I thought. We'll need to identify this person eventually. They may be called as a witness depending on how your wife responds to the divorce petition. She closed the laptop and looked at me directly. Have you confronted your wife yet? No, Jake said not to. Jake was right. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to draft divorce papers today. We'll file tomorrow morning. A process server will deliver them to your wife at her workplace. Her workplace? I interrupted. Yes. It's more reliable than home service, and frankly, it sends a message. She humiliated you in your home. She can face the consequences in public. Olivia's expression was ice. After she's served, you'll need to find somewhere else to stay for a while. Do not return to the house until we've established a temporary order regarding occupancy. My throat tightened. That's my house, too. I know, and we'll fight for it. But right now, we need to play this smart. She leaned forward. Your wife has been conducting an affair in your marital home for 7 months. She's been careful, methodical, and deceitful. When she realizes you know, she's going to panic. Panicked people do stupid things, like drain bank accounts, destroy property, or make false accusations. We need to stay 3 steps ahead of her. I nodded slowly. Everything Olivia said made sense, but it felt surreal. 2 days ago, I'd been shopping for blueberries. Now I was plotting legal strategy like a military campaign. What about our joint accounts? I asked. Don't touch them yet. Withdrawing money before filing can look bad. But the moment the papers are served, transfer exactly half of the liquid assets to a new individual account. Not a penny more, not a penny less. Document everything. She spent the next 20 minutes outlining the process, the timeline, what I should and shouldn't do. By the time I left her office at 10:15 a.m., I had a plan. Tomorrow, Emily's world would come crashing down, just like mine had yesterday in the produce section at Whole Foods. The phone vibrated in my hand at 6:47 p.m. I was sitting in the hotel room, staring at my laptop screen where I'd been reviewing our joint accounts for the 3rd time. Hey babe, running late at the office. Peterson account is being a nightmare. Probably won't be home until 8. Want me to grab takeout? I typed back quickly, "No worries, I'll order something. Love you." Her response came immediately. "You're the best. Love you too." I set the phone down and returned to the spreadsheet I'd built. The $300 withdrawals formed a perfect pattern. Every other Friday, like clockwork. 7 months of them. But that wasn't what had caught my attention in the last hour. There was something else. I'd pulled our credit card statements going back a year, and I'd started noticing charges I didn't remember. Small ones, mostly. A coffee shop in Capitol Hill I'd never heard of. Parking garages downtown on days Emily said she'd worked from home. A boutique hotel in Bellevue. Just one charge. $247, 6 months ago. I opened a new document and started cataloging them. Date, amount, location, what Emily had told me she was doing that day. I cross-referenced with my own calendar, my own credit card charges, my own location history. The picture that emerged made my stomach turn. My phone rang. "Jake." "Hey," I answered. "How you holding up?" "I'm going through the financials. There's more than just the cash withdrawals." "What kind of more?" I scrolled through my list. Hotel charge in Bellevue. Multiple charges at a coffee shop she's never mentioned. Parking garages on work-from-home days. It's not just the affair, Jake. She's been lying about where she is, what she's doing, constantly. "Document everything," he said. "Send it all to Olivia. This helps establish a pattern of deception." "Already on it." I paused. The hotel charge was March 15th. I was in Portland for that conference. 3 days. She told me she was staying with her sister because she didn't like being alone in the house. Jake was quiet for a moment. "Did you check with her sister?" "Not yet, but I will." "Ryan, listen to me. I know this is eating you alive, but you need to stay focused. Tomorrow the papers get served. After that, everything changes. You need to be ready." "I am ready." "Are you?" "Because Emily's going to call you. Probably screaming, probably crying. She's going to beg. She's going to promise it meant nothing. She's going to say she'll do anything to fix this." I thought about the video. Her face. The way she'd looked at him. "She can say whatever she wants," I said. "I'm done." After we hung up, I went back to the statements. I was looking for a specific charge now, the taxi app Emily used. I found our shared account and pulled up the ride history. That's when I saw it. The address auto-filled in her recent destinations. 2847 Riverside Drive, Unit 304. I didn't recognize it. I opened Google Maps and typed it in. It was a residential building in Fremont. Modern construction, probably condos. Definitely not anywhere we knew anyone. I went back to the ride history and started scrolling. My hands were shaking again. The address appeared over and over. Dozens of times. The first trip was 7 months ago, the same time frame as the affair. The most recent was yesterday afternoon. Yesterday. While I was at work reviewing the Peterson account, thinking about what to make for dinner, I took screenshots of everything. The ride history, the address, the dates and times. Then I sent them all to Olivia with a brief message. Found where they've been meeting. Ride history shows dozens of visits. Her response came back within minutes. "This is excellent. Shows premeditation and ongoing deception. Can you confirm whose residence this is?" I stared at the address. 2847 Riverside Drive, Unit 304. There were ways to find out. Property records were public. I could look up who owned the unit. But did I want to know? Did it matter? Yes, it mattered. I opened the King County Assessor's website and entered the address. The page loaded slowly, and I found myself holding my breath. The owner was listed as Riverside Condominiums LLC. A rental property, then. The management company's website showed the building. Sleek, modern, with floor-to-ceiling windows and what they called luxury finishes. One bedrooms started at $2,400 a month. I sat back in the hotel chair. Someone was paying $2,400 a month for a place where my wife spent her afternoons. The anonymous sender's photos had been taken in our house, but clearly that wasn't the only location. My phone buzzed. Another text from Emily. Just got out. Heading home now. Can't wait to see you. I looked at the message, at the exclamation point, at the casual lie embedded in every word. Drive safe, I typed back. See you soon. Except I wouldn't see her soon. I was in a hotel room downtown, surrounded by evidence of her betrayal, and she had no idea. She'd go home to our empty house, probably assume I was working late. Maybe she'd feed Bailey, pour herself a glass of wine, settle in to watch something on Netflix, living her double life without a care in the world. My laptop dinged. Email from Olivia. Ryan, papers are ready. Process server will be at her office at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I need you to be unavailable during this time. Turn off your phone or at least silence it. Do not respond to any attempts at contact until we've spoken. Call me at noon and we'll discuss next steps. OB. I read it twice, then checked the time. 7:23 p.m. Less than 15 hours until Emily's world came crashing down. I opened my photo gallery and looked at the screenshots again. The ones the anonymous sender had provided. Emily in our bedroom. Emily in our kitchen. Emily in our living room, on the couch we'd picked out together, with a man whose face I still hadn't clearly seen. Then I opened the ride history screenshots. All those trips to Riverside Drive. All those afternoons she'd told me she was working late, or meeting friends, or running errands. 7 months of lies. I thought about Jake's warning. She's going to call. She's going to beg. Let her. I closed the laptop and stood up, walking to the hotel window. The Seattle skyline spread out before me, lights reflecting off the rain-slicked streets. Somewhere out there, Emily was driving home, probably singing along to whatever playlist she had on, completely unaware that tomorrow morning, in the middle of her workday, a stranger would hand her an envelope that would end everything. My phone buzzed again. I looked down, expecting another text from Emily. It was the anonymous sender. Tomorrow she gets served? I stared at the message. How did they know? I hadn't told anyone except Jake and Olivia. Unless, I typed back, who is this? 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. Then appeared again. Someone who knows what she's capable of. Someone who's tired of watching her get away with it. My heart was pounding. Get away with what? Everything. She's always had a way of making people believe her, making them think she's the victim. But you've seen the truth now. You know what she really is. I sat down on the edge of the bed, gripping the phone. How do you know about the divorce papers? I have my sources, just like I had sources for the photos. Emily's not as careful as she thinks she is. Tell me who you are. The 3 dots appeared for a long time. Then, not yet, but soon. After tomorrow, after she's served, we should talk. There are things you need to know, things about Emily that go deeper than just the affair. The message ended there. I waited for more, but nothing came. I tried calling the number. It rang once, then went to a generic voicemail. I hung up and stared at the screen. Things that go deeper than just the affair. What the hell did that mean? The phone vibrated in my hand at 6:47 a.m. I was already awake, had been for hours, lying in bed next to Emily while she slept peacefully. The same bed where she'd brought him. Where they'd... I looked at the screen. Unknown number. The papers will be served at 9:15 a.m. You should be somewhere public when it happens. Trust me on this. My jaw tightened. This person, whoever they were, seemed to know everything before it happened. I typed back quickly. Who are you? How do you know all this? 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. Then appeared again. Unknown number. Someone who cares about the truth. Emily has a pattern, Ryan. You're not the first person she's hurt, but you might be the last if you're smart about this. Not the first person she's hurt. My stomach turned over. I stared at those words, trying to process them. What did that mean? Tell me what you know. Unknown. Number? Not yet. First, you need to see how she reacts when her world falls apart. Watch carefully. She'll show you who she really is. Unknown number. And Ryan? Don't go home today. Not until I contact you again. There are things in your house you need to find, but not while she has access to them. Emily stirred beside me, rolling over with a soft sigh. Her hand reached out, found my arm, squeezed gently. Morning, she murmured, eyes still closed. Morning, I said. My voice sounded normal, steady. Amazing what you could fake when you had to. She opened her eyes, smiled at me. That same smile I'd fallen in love with 10 years ago. The same smile she'd given him in that video. You're up early, she said. Couldn't sleep? Big presentation today. The lie came easily now. I'd been practicing for days. You'll do great. You always do. She kissed my shoulder, then slipped out of bed. I need to get ready. Early meeting. I watched her walk to the bathroom, wearing one of my old college t-shirts. In a few hours, she'd be served divorce papers at her office. And I had no idea what would happen after that. I sat in a coffee shop 3 blocks from my office, laptop open but ignored. It was 9:22 a.m. My phone rang. Olivia Brennan. It's done, she said without preamble. Papers were served at 9:16 a.m. in the lobby of her building. The process server said she went pale, asked if there was a mistake. He confirmed her identity and handed her the envelope. My hands were shaking. I set down my coffee cup before I could spill it. How did she react? According to the server, she opened the envelope right there, read the first page, then she tried to call you. I looked at my phone. 3 missed calls from Emily, 4 text messages. Emily. Ryan. What is this? Emily. Please call me. Emily. This has to be a mistake. Emily. Call me. Mr. Mitchell? Olivia's voice pulled me back. Are you still there? Yeah, I'm here. Good. Don't respond to her. Not yet. Let her sit with it. She'll try everything. Tears, anger, confusion, bargaining. The initial reaction tells us a lot about her strategy moving forward. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. Okay. One more thing. We've scheduled a preliminary hearing for next week. In the meantime, I need you to document everything. If she tries to contact you, save it. If she shows up somewhere, note the time and place. If she makes any threats, it happens more often than you'd think. People don't like losing control of the narrative. Olivia's voice was clinical, professional. Just be prepared. And Mr. Mitchell, don't underestimate her. Cornered people do desperate things. After we hung up, I stared at my phone. Emily was calling again. I let it go to voicemail. 30 seconds later, a voicemail notification appeared. I pressed play. Ryan, please, I don't understand what's happening. There has to be some kind of mistake. The papers say, they say you have evidence of... Her voice broke. Please just call me. Please. We can fix this. Whatever you think happened, we can fix it. I love you. Please. The desperation in her voice should have moved me. A week ago, it would have destroyed me. Now I just felt cold. My phone buzzed. Not a call this time. A text from the unknown number. Unknown number. She's calling her mother. Then she'll call Jake to see if he knows anything. Then she'll try your office. I stared at the message. How did they know that? How could they possibly... My phone rang again. Emily's mother. I declined the call. 2 minutes later, Jake. I answered that one. Ryan, what the hell is going on? Emily just called me crying, saying you served her with divorce papers at work. She says it's a mistake, that you won't answer her calls. It's not a mistake. Silence on the other end. Then, Jesus, you actually did it. I did. She's saying she doesn't know why, that there must be some kind of misunderstanding. There's no misunderstanding, Jake. She knows exactly why. My voice was harder than I intended. Did she mention the affair? She said the papers mentioned adultery, but that it's not true. That someone must have told you lies. I laughed. It came out bitter, sharp. Lies. Right. I have video, Jake. I have her travel history showing dozens of trips to some apartment. I have 7 months of evidence, but sure, lies. Another pause. I'm sorry, man. I know I need to go. I couldn't do this right now. Couldn't handle Jake's sympathy or Emily's denials or any of it. I'll call you later. I hung up before he could respond. The unknown number texted again. Unknown number. Your office receptionist is going to call in about 30 seconds. Emily called asking if you're there. I counted. 28 seconds later, my work phone rang. I didn't answer. Unknown number. Good. Now comes the interesting part. She's going to do something desperate. She's going to go to your house. Why would she do that? Unknown number. Because there's something there she doesn't want you to find. Something she needs to get rid of before you think to look for it. What is it? Unknown number. You'll see. Give her 20 minutes, then go home. I'll tell you exactly where to look. This was insane. Taking instructions from some anonymous person who somehow knew Emily's every move, who seemed to be watching her in real time. But they'd been right about everything so far. The affair, the apartment, the divorce papers. How do I know you're not setting me up for something? Unknown number. You don't. But ask yourself this. Why would I give you evidence of your wife's affair if I wanted to hurt you? Why would I help you prepare for divorce? I'm not your enemy, Ryan. Emily is. Unknown. Number, 20 minutes. Then go home. Park down the street and walk up. If her car is there, wait until she leaves. Then go inside and check the back of the bedroom closet, behind the shoe boxes on her side. There's a lockbox. Combination is 0723. Her birthday. I looked at the time. 9:47 a.m. This was crazy. I should call Olivia, tell her about these messages, let her handle it legally. But I didn't. Instead, I closed my laptop, threw away my untouched coffee, and walked to my car. Emily's car was in our driveway when I turned onto our street at 10:11 a.m. I parked 3 houses down, engine off, watching. She'd left work, driven straight home. Something she needs to get rid of. I waited. My phone sat in my lap, silent. The unknown number hadn't texted again. At 10:19, Emily emerged from the house. She was carrying something. A small box, maybe a foot square. She put it in her trunk, looked around nervously, then got in her car and backed out of the driveway. I slumped down in my seat as she drove past. She didn't notice me. Once her car disappeared around the corner, I got out and walked quickly to the house. My hands were shaking as I unlocked the front door. The house was quiet. Bailey wasn't here. Emily must have taken him to her mother's or somewhere. Smart. She was already thinking about the logistics of separation. I went straight to the bedroom, to the closet. Her side was exactly as she always kept it. Organized, color-coded, shoes lined up in boxes along the back wall. I pulled out the shoe boxes one by one. Behind them, pushed against the wall, was a small lockbox. Gray metal with a combination lock. 0723. The lock clicked open. Inside were papers. Documents. I pulled them out with trembling hands. Bank statements. But not from our joint account. A separate account I didn't know existed, in Emily's name only. Monthly deposits of $300, matching exactly the cash withdrawals I'd found. The current balance was $18,247. Beneath the statements, printed emails. I scanned them quickly, my heart pounding. They were from Emily to someone named David. Planning, coordinating. But not just affair logistics. We need to wait until the right time. He trusts me completely. Once we're past the 1-year mark, I can file and the settlement will be better. I've been documenting everything that makes me look good, the house improvements I suggested, the social connections I've maintained. It'll all matter. He makes 6 figures and has no idea I've been preparing for this. My lawyer says, with the right narrative, I can get the house and alimony. The date on the email was from 11 months ago. My vision blurred. I had to read it again to make sure I understood. She'd been planning to divorce me. The affair wasn't just betrayal. It was part of a strategy. She'd been building a case, positioning herself, waiting for the right moment to maximize what she could take from me. And I'd beaten her to it. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Now you understand. Emily doesn't love you. She never did. You were always just a paycheck to her. Everything was calculated. Everything. I sank onto the bedroom floor, papers scattered around me, and finally let myself feel the full weight of it. She'd never loved me at all. The anonymous message arrived at 11:47 p.m., 3 days after Emily had been served. She's moving money. Check her secret account in the morning. Screenshot everything. I was still at Jake's apartment sleeping on his couch because I couldn't bear to be in our house. The divorce was filed. Olivia had frozen our joint accounts. Emily was staying with her sister, or so her lawyer claimed. The initial shock had settled into a kind of numb determination, punctuated by moments when the betrayal hit me fresh, and I had to remind myself to breathe. I stared at my phone screen in the darkness of Jake's living room. The sender's timing was always perfect. Always just when I needed the next piece of information. It should have bothered me more, this unknown person orchestrating my discovery of Emily's deception. But anger had a way of making you accept help from strange places. I waited until 6 a.m. to log into the secret account. My hands were steadier now than they'd been in that Whole Foods parking lot. Practice, maybe. Or maybe I was just running out of capacity for shock. The balance had changed. 11,089. She'd moved 7,158ers in the past 2 days. I took screenshots of everything. The withdrawal history, the transfer records, the account summary. 3 separate transfers to an account I didn't recognize. The routing number was for a credit union in Oregon. My phone buzzed. Oregon Community Credit Union. Opened 2 months ago. She's building an escape fund. I forwarded everything to Olivia before I'd even made coffee. Her response came back in under 10 minutes. Good, very good. This helps us considerably. She's violating the automatic temporary restraining orders that went into effect when you filed. Don't touch anything else. Let me handle this. Jake emerged from his bedroom around 7, already dressed for work. He took one look at me hunched over my laptop at his kitchen counter and sighed. She moved more money, I said. Of course she did. He started the coffee maker. Olivia will crucify her for it. You know that, right? Every stupid move Emily makes just hands you more ammunition. I know. Do you? He leaned against the counter. Because you look like you're trying to solve a murder instead of win a divorce. I'm just being thorough. Yeah, I know. But Ryan, you've already won. You've got documentation of the affair, evidence of financial deception, proof she was planning to screw you over. You've got the best divorce attorney in Seattle. Emily's lawyer is probably telling her right now that she's in deep trouble. I wanted to believe him. But the anonymous sender's messages kept implying there was more. That Emily's betrayal went deeper than an affair and some hidden money. Who are you? I typed into the message thread. The response came immediately, like they'd been waiting. Someone who knows what she's capable of. Someone who watched her do this before. Before? To who? Her first husband. The words sat on my screen like a bomb. I read them 3 times. "Jake," I said quietly. "What?" I turned the phone toward him. He read the messages, his expression shifting from curiosity to disbelief. First husband? Emily was married before? She told me I was her first serious relationship. We met when she was 24. She said she'd dated casually but never... I stopped. 10 years together. A decade of my life. And I'd never known. When? I typed. College. Married at 21, divorced at 23. She cleaned him out too. Same playbook. Affair, hidden accounts, played the victim. His name was Tyler Bennett. Lives in Portland now. Took him 5 years to recover financially. Jake was already on his laptop, pulling up search results. Tyler Bennett, Portland. Here. 36, works in tech. LinkedIn says he went to University of Washington same years as Emily. The same university. The same city. And I'd never heard his name. My phone buzzed again. She's good at erasing her past. Changed her maiden name back after the divorce. Told everyone it was an annulment. Made Tyler sign an NDA as part of the settlement. He's not allowed to talk about the marriage. But I can. How do you know all this? Because I helped her do it. And I've regretted it every day since. I stared at the message. Jake was watching me, coffee forgotten. What? He asked. I showed him. His eyes widened. They helped her con the first husband, he said slowly. And now they're helping you because... guilt, maybe, or revenge. I typed. Why tell me now? Why help me? Because when I found out she was doing it again, I couldn't stay silent. Tyler was a good person. You seem like one too. Emily destroys good people. Someone needs to stop her. Who was the first husband to her? Did she love him? She married him for his trust fund, spent 2 years setting up the affair, the hidden accounts, the victim narrative, walked away with $90,000 in the settlement. His family was old money. They paid to make her go away quietly. $90,000. I thought about the $18,247 in Emily's secret account, the Oregon Credit Union, the systematic cash withdrawals. 7 months of planning. But this time, she'd been aiming for more than cash. She'd been positioning herself for half of everything I'd built. You need to tell Olivia about this, Jake said. If there's a previous divorce with similar patterns. The NDA, I interrupted. If Tyler can't talk about it, we can't use it. But this person can. Jake gestured at my phone. They were involved. They have first-hand knowledge. And NDAs don't typically cover third parties who weren't signatories. He was right. I forwarded the entire message chain to Olivia with a subject line. Urgent. Prior marriage. Her response came in less than 5 minutes. Call me, now. I stepped out onto Jake's balcony. Seattle was waking up below, traffic building on the street, people heading to jobs and lives that hadn't imploded. The drizzle had stopped, leaving everything slick and gray. Olivia answered on the first ring. Tell me you have proof of these messages, she said, without preamble. Screenshots of everything. Good. This changes the entire landscape. If we can establish a pattern of fraudulent behavior, Ryan, this isn't just about your divorce anymore. If she did this to a previous spouse, if there's documentation of systematic financial deception across multiple relationships, we're talking about potential fraud charges. My stomach tightened. Criminal charges? Possibly. That's not my area, but I know people. The bigger issue for us is that this pattern demonstrates clear intent. She didn't just have an affair and make some bad decisions. She's a serial predator who targets financially stable men and systematically robs them through manipulated divorce proceedings. Can we use it if the first husband signed an NDA? We're not getting information from the first husband. We're getting it from a third party. Different legal standard. And if this person is willing to testify, she paused. Who are they? How do they know all this? I don't know. They won't identify themselves. Then we need them to. Because anonymous tips are one thing, but courtroom testimony is another. Can you ask them? I looked at my phone, at the message thread that had upended my life and simultaneously saved it. Olivia needs to know who you are. Will you identify yourself? The response took longer this time. 3 minutes of staring at the screen, watching the typing indicator appear and disappear. Finally. Not yet. But I will when the time is right. For now, tell your attorney to subpoena Emily's college records. Specifically, any disciplinary actions from her junior year. And tell her to look into a complaint filed with the university's ethics board in March 2012. It was withdrawn, but the record still exists. I relayed the information to Olivia. I could hear her typing furiously. March 2012, she muttered. That would have been right around when this alleged first marriage ended. Ryan, your anonymous friend is giving us a roadmap. Someone filed an ethics complaint against Emily right when her first divorce was happening. What kind of ethics complaint? That's what we're going to find out. I'm putting my investigator on this immediately. In the meantime, you sit tight and don't engage with Emily at all. No calls, no texts, no contact. Let her lawyer handle everything. And keep me posted if your mysterious benefactor sends anything else. She hung up. I stood on the balcony, watching Seattle move below me, and tried to reconcile the woman I'd loved for 10 years with the picture that was emerging. A picture of someone who'd done this before. Someone who'd refined her technique. Someone who'd married me not despite my financial stability, but because of it. My phone buzzed one more time. She's going to fight back soon. She'll claim you were abusive, controlling with money, emotionally manipulative. She'll cry. She'll play the victim. Don't let her narrative take hold. Document everything. Trust nothing she says. How do you know what she'll do? Because I wrote the script the first time. I helped her practice the tears. I'm not proud of it. But I can help you now. Let me. I went back inside. Jake was at his laptop, still digging through search results. Found Tyler Bennett's wedding announcement from 2013, he said. Second marriage. 2 kids now. Looks happy. Good for him, I said. And I meant it. At least one of Emily's victims had recovered. My phone buzzed with an email notification. Olivia's investigator, copying me on a records request to the University of Washington. The machinery was in motion. I sat down at Jake's kitchen counter and opened my laptop. 7 months Emily had been planning this. But she'd actually been planning it for over a decade, refining her approach, perfecting her performance, selecting her targets. She'd just made one critical mistake. She'd hurt someone who couldn't live with staying silent. And now that someone was making sure I had everything I needed to stop her. The email from Jake arrived at 11:47 p.m., 3 days after the Oregon Credit Union transfer. Call me. Don't care what time. I dialed immediately. She filed a police report, Jake said without preamble. 2 hours ago. Claims you've been physically abusive for months. Says she's terrified. There's a restraining order hearing scheduled for tomorrow morning. I sat down on the edge of the bed. The guest bed now, in what used to be my office. What kind of evidence? Photos of bruises. Texts she claims are threatening. A statement from a friend who says Emily confided in her about the abuse back in February. My hands went cold. I've never touched her, not once. I know, but she's good at this, Ryan. Our anonymous friend warned us. Papers rustled on his end. The bruises look recent. Professional photography, medical documentation. She went to an ER 3 days ago. 3 days ago, the same day she'd started moving money to Oregon. This is coordinated, I said. Absolutely. The restraining order gets you out of the house. Then she files an amended divorce petition claiming abuse, asks for everything plus damages. Classic defensive maneuver. She knows we have her financial records, so she's trying to flip the narrative. I walked to the window. Rain streaked the glass, distorting the streetlights below. What about the texts she claims are threatening? Haven't seen them yet. We'll get copies at the hearing. But Ryan, he paused. Do you have your phone records? Everything backed up? Cloud storage. Every text. Every call log since we got married. Good. Because if she's manufacturing evidence, we need to prove it. Timestamps, metadata, everything. I pulled up my messaging app, scrolled through months of conversations with Emily. Grocery lists, dinner plans. Love you, exchanges that now felt like evidence in a crime scene. Nothing threatening. Nothing even remotely aggressive. The friend who gave a statement, I said. Did you get a name? More papers. Vanessa Wright. Says she's known Emily since college. Claims Emily showed her bruises in February. Told her you'd been getting violent when you drank. I don't drink. Maybe a beer with dinner twice a month. Emily knew that. Everyone knew that. Vanessa Wright, I repeated, pulling up my laptop. Emily never mentioned anyone by that name. Doesn't mean she doesn't exist, but it's worth checking. I was already searching. LinkedIn, social media, public records. How old is this friend supposed to be? Statement doesn't say. Why? Because there's a Vanessa Wright who went to UW same years as Emily. Works in Portland now. Marketing consultant. I clicked through to her profile. Professional headshot, company bio, list of clients. But according to her Facebook, she's been living in Japan since January, teaching English in Tokyo. Silence on Jake's end. Then, screenshot everything, right now. I was already doing it. Profile pages, timeline posts, photos of cherry blossoms and Tokyo subway stations all dated from the past 3 months. If Emily's using her name, either Vanessa doesn't know or she's in on it, Jake finished. Either way, it's fraud. A false statement in a police report is a crime. My phone buzzed. Another email, this time from an unknown address. Different from the anonymous sender's previous messages. Check Emily's college roommate registry. Spring 2011. Then check Vanessa Wright's marriage license from 2012. I opened a new browser tab, fingers moving automatically. UW housing records were semi-public if you knew where to look. Spring 2011, Emily's junior year. Roommate, Vanessa Wright, room 347, McMahon Hall. Jake, Emily, and Vanessa were college roommates. So they do know each other. Wait! I pulled up Oregon marriage records, searched for Vanessa Wright 2012. The record loaded slowly, line by line. Name, date, location. Spouse, Tyler Bennett. The room tilted. I gripped the edge of the desk. Ryan? Vanessa Wright married Tyler Bennett, I said. Emily's first husband. 3 months after his divorce from Emily was finalized. The silence stretched out for 5 full seconds. Holy hell, Jake said quietly. They're running the same con. Emily and Vanessa, together. The pieces assembled themselves with terrible clarity. Emily cons Tyler, gets $90,000. Vanessa provides the supporting testimony, plays the concerned friend. Then Vanessa marries Tyler, maybe for his money, maybe just to complete the circle. And now, 10 years later, they're doing it again. Our anonymous sender, I said. It's Vanessa. What? Think about it. Who else would know Emily's pattern this well? Who else would have access to both marriages, both cons? Vanessa helped Emily destroy Tyler. But something changed. Maybe Tyler figured it out. Maybe Vanessa grew a conscience. Either way, she's trying to stop Emily from doing it again. My phone buzzed again. Same unknown address. Tyler killed himself. April 2014. I found him. Emily took everything and he couldn't live with what she'd done to him. I've spent 9 years trying to forget I helped her. I can't let her do it again. My throat closed. I forwarded the message to Jake. Jesus, he breathed. Ryan, we need to get Vanessa on record. Official statement, deposition, everything. She's in Japan. Then we fly her back. I don't care what it costs. If she testifies that she and Emily ran this scam before, that she's lying in the current police report, Emily's entire case collapses. More than that, Emily could face criminal charges, fraud, perjury, maybe even wrongful death liability for Tyler. I typed a response to Vanessa. Will you testify? In person? The reply came within seconds. Yes, I'm already booking a flight. I'll be in Seattle in 36 hours. I have evidence, emails, recordings, bank records from the Tyler case, everything. She's coming, I told Jake. 36 hours. The restraining order hearing is tomorrow morning. We need to delay it. Can you? I can try. Medical emergency, scheduling conflict, something. If we can push it 3 days, we'll have Vanessa here to counter Emily's entire narrative. I looked at the screen, at Vanessa's words. Tyler killed himself. A man I'd never met, destroyed by the same woman who'd shared my bed for 10 years, who'd talked about having children, who'd smiled at me over breakfast 3 weeks ago while hiding $18,000 and planning my destruction. Jake, what happens if we can't delay the hearing? Then you show up with every phone record, every piece of evidence we have, and we fight. But Ryan, restraining orders are civil proceedings. The burden of proof is lower. A judge sees photos of bruises in a friend's testimony. They're going to err on the side of caution. You could be barred from your own house even if we prove the abuse claims are false later. So Emily wins either way. In the short term, maybe. But if Vanessa testifies, if we can prove this is a pattern, Emily doesn't just lose the divorce. She loses everything. Criminal prosecution, civil liability, her career, her reputation, everything. My phone rang. Emily. I let it go to voicemail. 30 seconds later, a text. I know you got served with the restraining order. I'm sorry it came to this. You need help, Ryan. I hope you get it. The performance was flawless. Concerned, compassionate, the worried wife protecting herself from a dangerous husband. I could picture her showing this text to her lawyer, to the judge, to anyone who'd listen. See? I even tried to reach out to him. I forwarded it to Jake without comment. Another message from Vanessa. She'll try to make you look unstable, angry, dangerous. Don't respond to her. Don't contact her. Don't give her anything she can use. Too late. I'd already sent the text to Jake, but I hadn't replied to Emily. Small mercies. I need to prepare for tomorrow, Jake said. Get some sleep if you can. Bring every device you own to my office at 7 a.m. We're going to document everything. After he hung up, I sat in the darkness of the guest room, listening to rain hammer the windows. Somewhere across the city, Emily was probably doing the same thing, preparing her performance, rehearsing her lines, maybe even inflicting a few more photogenic bruises. And somewhere over the Pacific Ocean, Vanessa Wright was flying towards Seattle, carrying evidence of a dead man and a decade-old crime. The game had changed. Emily thought she was executing a well-practiced con. She didn't know her former partner had switched sides. I opened my laptop and started documenting everything. Timestamps, screenshots, phone records, every piece of evidence that proved I was exactly where I claimed to be, doing exactly what I said I was doing, for every moment of our marriage. If Emily wanted a war, she'd get one. But this time, she'd picked the wrong target. The restraining order hearing never happened. Jake managed to delay it by 2 days, citing procedural issues with the evidence submission. By the time we walked into that courtroom, Vanessa Wright was sitting in the gallery with her attorney, a briefcase full of documentation and a willingness to testify under oath about everything. Emily's lawyer took one look at Vanessa and went pale. Emily herself froze when she saw her former roommate. I watched the calculation happen in real time. The quick glance toward the exit, the whispered conversation with her attorney, the realization that her carefully constructed lies were about to detonate in her face. The hearing lasted 17 minutes. Emily's lawyer withdrew the restraining order petition before Vanessa even took the stand. Something about new information coming to light and reconsidering our approach. The judge looked annoyed but accepted the withdrawal. We walked out of that courtroom and straight into a conference room where Vanessa spent 4 hours giving a deposition. She brought emails showing how she and Emily had planned Tyler's financial destruction. Bank records proving Emily had funneled money through Vanessa's accounts to hide assets. Text messages from 2012, where they'd laughed about how easy it was to manipulate rich, trusting men. And she brought Tyler's suicide note. I only read it once. That was enough. He'd figured out what Emily had done, how thoroughly she'd used him, and he couldn't live with the humiliation. Vanessa had found him in his apartment 2 years after the divorce, after he'd spent everything trying to rebuild his life. I helped kill him, Vanessa said quietly, staring at her hands. Not directly, but I knew what we were doing to him. I knew Emily didn't love him. I knew it was all calculated. And I helped anyway because she was my friend and I thought it was funny. 2 girls outsmarting the system, taking from men who had more than they needed. She looked up at me. Then Tyler died, and it wasn't funny anymore. I tried to tell myself it wasn't our fault, that he'd made his own choices. But I knew better. Emily destroyed him as surely as if she'd pulled a trigger. And when I saw her Facebook post about getting married again, saw your picture, saw that same look in her eyes that she'd had with Tyler, I couldn't stay silent. Why did you wait so long? I asked. We've been married 8 years. I was a coward. I told myself maybe she'd changed. Maybe you were different. Maybe she actually loved you. Vanessa's voice cracked. But then I saw her at a conference in Portland 6 months ago. She was with a man who wasn't you. And she saw me watching, and she smiled. That same smile she'd had when we were planning Tyler's takedown. She knew I knew. And she didn't care. That's when I started gathering evidence. The divorce took 4 months to finalize. Emily tried to fight at first, hired a new lawyer, attempted to resurrect the abuse claims, filed motion after motion. But every time, we countered with more evidence. The secret accounts, the Oregon Credit Union, the pattern with Tyler, Vanessa's testimony. Eventually, Emily's lawyer had a come-to-Jesus conversation with her. Take the settlement offer or face criminal charges. Fraud. Perjury. Possibly even charges related to Tyler's death, though the statute of limitations made that tricky. She took the settlement, walked away with nothing but her personal belongings and her car. I kept the house, the savings, my retirement accounts. The judge even ordered her to repay the $18,347 from her secret account, plus the $7,158 she'd transferred to Oregon. I never saw her again after the final hearing. Her lawyer accepted the papers on her behalf. I heard through mutual acquaintances that she moved to California, changed her name again, started over somewhere else. I hope whoever she meets next is smarter than I was. Or luckier. Or has a Vanessa Wright in their corner. 2 years later, I sold the house in Ballard. Too many ghosts. Too many memories of a life that had never been real. I bought a smaller place in Fremont, closer to work, with no history except what I'd build myself. Vanessa and I stayed in touch. Not friends exactly. The foundation was too strange for that. But allies. She'd moved back to Seattle after her testimony, left teaching behind, started working as a victim's advocate for financial fraud cases. She said helping people like me was her penance for what she'd done to Tyler. I believed her. Redemption isn't about erasing the past. It's about choosing differently when the same choice appears again. Jake still bugs me to start dating. I'm not ready. Maybe I won't be for a while. The idea of trusting someone that completely again feels impossible, but I'm working on it. Therapy helps. Time helps. Understanding that Emily's betrayal was about who she was, not who I was, that helps most of all. I think about Tyler sometimes. A man I never met, destroyed by the same person who'd shared my bed. I think about how close I came to his fate. Not suicide, but that same financial and emotional devastation. The only difference was a stranger's guilty conscience and a well-timed anonymous message. The screenshot that changed everything came from someone trying to prevent history from repeating. It worked. Emily didn't win this time, but Tyler's story reminds me that for every victory, there are countless others who weren't so lucky. People who trusted the wrong person, who missed the warning signs, who didn't have a Vanessa Wright watching from the shadows. The lesson isn't that you shouldn't trust. It's that trust should be earned, verified, and never given blindly. It's that love without honesty is just a beautiful lie. It's that some people view relationships as transactions, and no amount of genuine feeling on your part will change their calculation. Emily taught me that the hard way. But at least I lived to learn it. And somewhere, I hope Tyler knows that his story finally mattered. That Vanessa's testimony in my case opened investigations into Emily's pattern. That the woman who destroyed him didn't get to destroy anyone else. Justice doesn't always look like punishment. Sometimes it looks like prevention. Sometimes it looks like one person's courage to speak truth, even when that truth condemns them too. I won my divorce. I kept my assets, my dignity, my future. But the real victory was simpler. I survived what Tyler couldn't. And I choose to believe that matters.